Hey guys, welcome to the 9th episode of this story, in which Naruto discovered his heritage before he entered the academy. How would he turn out? Listen and find out as Naruto strives to accomplish of his goals of becoming Hokage and reviving the Namikaze clan. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Now, let's get started. Nina and Haku were exchanging blows as Nina was using her dagger while Haku was using her needles. Damn, this girl is tougher than she looks. Nina thought as she was put on the defensive before being knocked back by a roundhouse kick. Hijitsu, Sensatsu Sueisho. Haku yelled out and then created water needles that flew toward the downed Nina, who dodged out of the way. Why don't you just give up? Your flames are now useless against me and I would hate to have to take the life of another human being. Haku said. Get real. There's no way I'm giving up now. Besides, this is way too much fun. Hai Kuchios. Hai Yoroi, fire summoning, fire armor. Nina said, and then flames engulfed her arms and legs and turned into gauntlets and greaves. Nani? Haku asked. Fire wave. Nina said, and then fires a huge wave of fire toward Haku, who quickly went through her own seals. Hyoha, ice wave. Haku said and retaliated with her ice wave. But when both attacks collided, Haku's attack was overpowered and Haku quickly created an ice mirror in the sky to avoid the attack. What was that? That flame was much stronger than her previous one and also a different color, like it was redder than before. Haku wondered as she hid inside her mirror. So how do you like my hell flame? It's 3 times stronger than my normal flames and thus cannot be frozen by the level of your ice attacks. But I see you've hidden behind those mirrors of yours, huh? Well, let me give you some company. Hai Kuchios, Yukai no Hai, fire summoning, warrior of the flame. Nina said, and then a demon covered in flames and red eyes appeared next to her. Go smash that mirror now. Nina ordered, and the demon nodded and flew directly for the mirror and broke into it, but not before Haku created other mirrors. More mirrors. I never knew you were so much of a coward, Haku, but if you want to play by numbers, then I'll be more than happy to oblige. Multiply. Nina said, and then the demons multiplied into several copies of themselves. This is bad, I have to finish them quickly. Hayaton, Makyu Hyoinsei, ice release, demonic ice meteors. Haku said, and then unleashed huge ice needles from her mirrors at Nina. Too weak. Katan, Hayatsusaha, fire release, fire heat wave, Nina said, and then heat emitted from her body and then melted Haku's attack easily. Okay, my fellow minions. Let's destroy all but the mirror farthest to the right. Katan, Kainryu Matsuri, fire release, flame dragon festival. Nina said, and then all of her minions unleashed a flaming dragon from their mouths and destroyed all of the mirrors except for the one she mentioned. So I was right. If I had hit the mirror she was in, she would have created another mirror to hide in. Nina smirked mentally as she figured out Haku's strategy. Phoenix whip. Nina said, and then materializes a whip of flame which she then lashed out at the mirror. It goes through and grabs Haku and pulls her back down to the roof hard. Thought you could hide all day in your mirrors? That just won't do against me, Haku-chan. Now, lay still while I end this little fight of yours. Nina said as she advanced toward the downed Haku, who then smirked. What's so funny? Nina asked angrily. I wasn't just using my ice mirrors to hide. I was truly using them as a decoy to prepare for my real attack. Haku smirked. What? No way, you're bluffing. Nina said as she was taken aback by what Haku said. If you don't believe me, then why don't you look around you? Haku asked. Nina did just that and her eyes widened in shock as she was surrounded to her left, right, and back by ice mirrors. So she was using the whole ice mirrors as a decoy. By keeping me preoccupied with her, she led me to believe that the ice mirrors in front of me were the only ones that she had created. That devious bitch. Nina thought. But wait a minute. How the heck were you able to create them without me noticing? I should have seen a sign or something. Nina asked. It's simple. My Kekai Genkai allows me to have total control over water and wind and tell me, what's predominant in the air? Haku asked. Water and wind, Nina answered. Exactly, and thus I was able to use them to create my mirrors without a need for a seal, Haku explained. But that still won't help you. In case you've forgotten, your ice attacks are totally useless against my red flames, my hottest flames. Nina said. You're very wrong about that. Hayaton, Hyo Kago, Ice Release, Ice Cage. Haku said, and then the mirrors emit an air of ice that forms a triangle and trap Nina within. This technique is my strongest for the simple reason that once something or someone is inside that cage, they lose all heat. Basically, the temperature of this cage is absolute zero, a place where heat cannot exist. Haku explained. Impossible. Nina yelled as her flames, greaves and gauntlets and her summons all disappear. She tried to make more fire but she was unable to do so, and eventually, the ice overtook, causing her to freeze up. Haku then releases the attack and Nina was on the ground, with ice all over her. How can this be? How can you be so strong? Nina asked, teetering. That's simple. It's because I am the Godame Mizukage, and also, I have the strength of my nakama and hence why I never fight alone, something you cannot understand. Haku explained. The Godame Mizukage? Then no wonder I lost, but you're wrong about the last thing you said. Me and my nakama are very close, we're like family and we always help each other out. In fact, it's the only people that have treated me like a true person. Nina said and then falls unconscious. Shinji-kun and I hope you guys are okay. Haku said as she looked over to see the others fight. Aizoa vs. Comb finale. Both fighters were fighting widely as Aizoa was swinging his sword widely while Comb was countering with his wolf claws and then both knocked each other back. You're pretty tough for a human. Comb said. And you're not so bad for a mutt. Aizoa replied. What did you just call me? Comb growled. A mutt. You have a problem with that? Aizoa asked. Of course I do, Baka Ningen. I'm a wolf Hanyu, not a mutt Hanyu, and wolves are the strongest canines in the world. To call me a mutt is particularly insulting and for that, I demand an apology. Comb said. An apology? Like I would ever lower myself into doing such a stupid action in a fight. Besides, instead of asking an apology, you should keep your guard up for what I am about to do. Aizoa said. Nani? Comb asked. Niken, 2 swords, Aizoa said, and then his hand actually goes inside his sword and then pulls out another one, which had a blue bar in the middle. So that's how he was able to pull another sword. Comb thought. Nijirai, 2 slash. Aizoa yelled out and then dashed toward Comb and swung both swords horizontally, but Comb was able to jump upward to avoid it. Buster Wave. Aizoa yelled and then chakra filled the blue bar in the second sword which then unleashed a powerful slicing wave toward Comb. Rugakyaku. Comb replied and then countered with his own slicing wave attack, cancelling out their attacks. Sho Setsudenki, Rising Guillotine. Aizoa said as he flew toward Comb and swung his first sword upward in trying to cut the Hanyu in two, but Comb was able to move out of the way to dodge it. Wolf Claw. Comb said and was started up his attack. Suetun, Suryuden no Jutsu. Aizoa said and countered Comb's attack with a dragon-headed water blast. How is he able to use water attacks where there is no water? Comb thought as he was smacked into the ground by the attack. Enai's Antenya Nadar, double-cutting Rising Heaven Avalanche. Aizoa yelled out and swung his sword rapidly, each shooting multiple slicing waves toward where Comb landed. Aizoa then landed on the ground and seconds later, Comb rose up, a bit injured from the onslaught. And here I thought I had finished you. Aizoa smirked. Now it's my turn. Rishiki, wolf stance, Comb started to say. Rishiki? Aizoa asked. Rishiki, sit boy. Comb said and then sat down like a dog would be. What the hell are you doing now? Aizoa asked angrily. What does it look like? I am going to use one of my many stances. Besides, you're forgetting that the wolf has powerful hinds and legs. But first, I must wash myself. Comb said and started to wash himself like a dog would do. Are you even trying to fight anymore? Aizoa growled in irritation. Of course I am, it's just that I needed to wash myself since I haven't taken a bath for a while. Now, let's begin, sit boy, wolf bullet. Comb said and then did his technique. His technique is even faster than before and even stronger. Aizoa said as he tried to block it but to no avail as he was pushed into a store nearby by the force of the attack. Whoa. My sit boy stance allows me to add even more power and speed into my attacks by focusing all of my strength on my legs. Sit boy, wolf cannon clutch. Comb said and then shot upwards with his wolf cannon and then dived toward Aizoa with his wolf clutch. Aizoa rolls out of the way as Comb comes down and his wolf clutch technique ends up creating a crater on the ground. He isn't kidding about that stupid stance. His techniques have gotten stronger from it. Aizoa thought as he observed the changes. Tubo kaze, howling wind, Comb said and then breathed in and then breathed out a gale that really didn't have any effect at all. What was the point of that? Aizoa asked. Nanny? It didn't hurt at all? Comb asked. Not at all. Aizoa said. Kyuso. Then this means that the order has been reversed. Comb said as he stomped the ground. What order? Aizoa asked. The order of the houses that fell from the blowing of the wolf in the story of the three little pigs. The first two houses are supposed to be blown away and the third one should be the sturdier one. In this case, my first attack should have blown you away but it seems the order has been reversed hence why my technique didn't work. Comb explained. Are you even listening to yourself? Aizoa yelled out. This time, since the third house became the first, my technique will work for sure. Howling, Comb started to say. This is ridiculous. Suetun, Fukai Umi Yomi, water release, deep sea underworld, Aizoa said and then a large puddle of water covered the ground between both and dragged them into it. This is bad. Comb thought as he saw Aizoa starting to zip around the water and slashing him, he has the advantage underwater. I have to get out of here. Comb thought and then used his wolf cannon to get out of the puddle. Looks like you don't like water much, Uzumaki Hanyu. Aizoa asked with a smirk as he also jumped out of the puddle. Damn you, that look in your eyes, you're no different from those bastards. Comb growled. What are you blabbering about? Aizoa asked. The way you smirk at me, like I'm worth nothing at all. This is the same smirk those bastards back in my clan gave me, Comb said. Flashback, we see a bunch of people dressed like Comb except with more animalistic features up in a cave deep in the mountains. Okay guys, let's get ready for the hunt. One of them said. Hey guys, are you going on a hunt? Can I join? A young Comb asked. You gotta be kidding. Hey guys, the stupid half-breed wants to join us on a hunt. The wolf demon said and all of them laughed. Like a pathetic and worthless half-breed like you could ever join us wolf demons on a hunt. A bald and fat wolf demon laughed. The fact that you're in this clan and still alive is a disgrace to us all. Another added. Why don't you do us a favor and drop dead? A third one said. I'm not weak. Comb said with tears coming out of his eyes and he tried to lunge at one of them only to get stomped on and then get beat on. Yes you are and you will always be weak, stupid half-breed. Come on, let's go. The leader said and they left, leaving a bruised Comb on the ground. I'll show you all. Comb growled. End flashback. I had enough of people making fun of me only because I'm a half-breed. Aizoa roared, and then he suddenly started to get more muscular as his eyes turned white and his hair became spikier. Also, his shirt ripped apart, and the claws on his legs also got bigger. Finally, 3 gray whisker marks appeared on each cheek. He then let out a huge howl that was heard around the village. "What the hell is that?" Suigetsu asked as he heard the howl. "Ha, ha, ha. That's probably Comb using that form," Rai said. "What form?" Suigetsu asked. "It doesn't matter if I explain it to you or not, either way that Aizoa guy is going to die." Rai grinned. "You're wrong about that," Suigetsu said. "And why's that?" Rai asked. "It's simple. It's just that no matter who the opponent is, Aizoa will never lose." Suigetsu smirked. "What the hell is going on now?" Aizoa asked, shocked at what just happened. "Now let's begin. Kyoku Ryutsum, Extreme Wolf Claw." Comb roared and swung his arm and unleashed a powerful slicing wave in the form of a red claw toward Aizoa. "Gah! Can't block it," Aizoa said as he was pushed back into a house by the attack. Kyoku Umaki Kurusi, Extreme Wolf Clutch. Comb yelled and instantly smacked Comb to the ground hard with his Wolf Clutch attack. Wolf Bullet Festival. Comb yelled out and then struck Aizoa with multiple wolf bullets. He then grabs Aizoa by his shirt. "So, are you still going to give me that smirk, huh?" Comb asked, growling, but then gets pissed when Aizoa spits on his face. "Ruh. Wolf Stone Fist," Comb said, and then punched Aizoa hard in the stomach, to the point he breaks his ribs and makes him cough out blood, and the punch sends Aizoa flying through 3 houses. "If you think that's all I can do, then you're wrong. This was just the appetizer. Now, here's the main course. Wolf Pack Hunt." Comb growled, and then 2 other Comb jumped out of his body, each looking identical to the original. "Let's begin the massacre," Comb said in a growling tone, and then all 3 rushed toward Aizoa and started to unleash volley of claw attacks, causing Aizoa to go on the defensive with both his swords but was getting overwhelmed. "So Aizoa, do you now see the true power of a Umaki Hanyu, huh? People like you that always look down on us will never understand our strength and continue to look down upon us, but what you fail to realize is that it will lead you to your demise," Comb said as he and his copies continued their assault. "So what if you were made fun of as a kid? So what if you're a Hanyu? And so what if people look down on you? In the end, it doesn't matter," Aizoa said, yelling the last part as he was able to knock the 3 Comb back with sheer strength. "Masaka. He actually stopped my attacks. Who the hell is that guy?" Comb thought in surprise. "All that matters in a fight to the death is whoever is stronger than the other, and hence why you will lose because I am stronger," Aizoa said. "You still want to think like this? Fine, then I'll have to destroy you so that way you can realize that I'm truly stronger than you," Comb said, and then jumped up 40 feet into the air. "This is my most destructive wolf bullet, and let me assure you that there's no way you will be able to block or dodge this one. Meteor Wolf Bullet." Comb roared and then descended toward Aizoa at high speeds with gray chakra engulfing him in the form of a wolf. "Baka, like I was going to block or dodge it. Oogie, Omni Slash." Aizoa yelled, and then all of Aizoa's swords fly out and surround Comb. Aizoa then flies towards Comb, zips around and cuts him with 4 of them before taking the last 2 and slashing Comb in the chest with both, creating a large X mark. Then, Aizoa returns to the ground and all 6 swords fall down, all surrounding him. "This was a good fight, Comb, but in the end, the strongest win and hence I won. It's that simple," Aizoa said as Comb hits the ground hard, unconscious but alive. Rai vs Suigetsu Finale. Che, this is boring. I'm going to check around to see if I can find more people to play with. Rai smirked. Hey dumbass, we're not quite done you and I, Suigetsu said. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about you. Please forgive me, it's just that I have a nasty habit to forget that I'm fighting an opponent when they are so weak. Rai grinned. Anyway, this should only take 2 minutes. Rai said. You got that right, and I'll start off by getting through that lightning defense of yours. Ryusui Aisatsu. Suigetsu grinned and then jumped up and executed his technique. Cut through me? It looks like you're stupider than you look, kid. Rai said and then activated his defense. Suigetsu's attack hits the defense and Suigetsu gets shocked by the defense. I told you that you could never get past my defense, kid. Rai laughed but then his eyes widened as he saw Suigetsu's blade started to get through the defense. Damn it, he's getting through. I have to dodge now. Rai thought as he saw what was happening and moves out of the way before Suigetsu cuts him down. Daisuitai, Kusanagi. Suigetsu said and then rushed toward Rai and slashes through his defense, leaving a large scar on his chest. He slashed me. Rai thought. Just like I said, I'm going to get through that defense of yours. All I had to do was emit chakra around my sword and then use it to deflect your lightning, since despite the fact it mimics the element, it's still chakra. Suigetsu grinned. So what? You think you've won just because you got through my lightning field, huh? You're even dumber than I gave you credit for, kid. Rai said and then tosses his sword away. What the hell? You're throwing your sword away when you're fighting a swordsman? And you call me stupid? Suigetsu said. That's because that while I am a swordsman, I'm a much better a prized fighter. Rai said. Prized fighter? So what, you fought in leagues and tournaments before? Suigetsu asked. Yes, actually I did, and man those were the days. The blood, carnage, destruction as you fight your opponent in a ring, one-on-one until one of you drops dead. I started fighting at age 9, and by age 10, I already killed 50 people. By age 13, I had killed so many I lost count. Rai said as he had a grin of exhilaration on his face. Is this the part where I'm supposed to be scared? Suigetsu asked. Oh, of course not. This is Raitun, Arashahu, Thunder Release, Storm Cannon, Rai said and then unleashed a large lightning ball from his mouth. Suigetsu sees it coming and cuts it down only to see Rai lunging straight at him. Thunder shot. Rai yells out and throws a right straight with his lightning-enhanced right arm, and Suigetsu blocks it but is pushed back by the blow. That blow of his nearly broke my sword into pieces. Suigetsu thought as he recovered. Blitzkrieg. Rai yells out and with his left arm, throws a volley of punches at Suigetsu who dodges them all and then zips into the air. Spinning mist slash. Suigetsu yells out and comes down spinning like a wheel toward Rai. The latter grins as he saw the attack coming and then lunges at Suigetsu and grabs Suigetsu's sword, surprising him, and then knees him in the stomach with his right knee. Thunder Dragon Suplex. Rai said and then performs a suplex on Suigetsu, dropping him head first to the ground. Rai then grabs Suigetsu by the legs and then swings him around a couple of times before tossing him through a large building. Just to make sure you stay down for good. Rai grins and then grabs a house nearby, lifts it up with one hand and then throws it at the location where Suigetsu landed and then started to laugh. This carnage is just too beautiful. This is the way a battlefield is supposed to look like. Death and destruction everywhere. Rai hollered. Liver, lungs, spine, clavicle vein, neck, brain, kidneys, heart. Which one should I go after? Suigetsu said as a heavy thick mist covered their battleground. What the hell? Rai asked. He then got his answer as he started to get slashed in the body from multiple directions. Using the mist to hide yourself? Show yourself, coward. Rai said. Instead of bitching, why don't you do something about it? Besides, you're a pretty lucky guy with that steel body of yours. Most people would have already died from this attack. Suigetsu said. You're right, I should, and it's all thanks to this body. Rai said, and then turned and took a shot straight to the ribs, but instead of disemboweling him, Suigetsu's sword just stops. What the hell? Why can't my sword cut deeper? Is his body that hard to cut down? Suigetsu thought. This body of mine has been perfected through hard training and even harsher battles over the years. It is the body perfected for extreme fighting, and hence why it will never be cut down by weaklings like you. Thunder Hammer. Rai said, and then lightning engulfed both his fists, and he smacks both fists on each side of Suigetsu's torso, crushing his ribs and electrocuting him, causing him to yell out in pain. Thunder Shotgun. Rai yelled out and then blasted Suigetsu away by punching him with both electric fists at the same time. I'm not through with you yet. Flying Double Pressure. Rai says, and then dives toward the fallen Suigetsu and knees him hard in the chest with both knees, forcing him to cough out blood. Double Blitzkrieg. Rai said, and then performed his Blitzkrieg technique with both hands, crushing Suigetsu further into the ground. Ha, 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 ha. You really are too weak to beat me. Rai hollered, but then gets booted in the face by Suigetsu and is knocked back by the blow. You still want some more? That's fine, I'll be more than happy to oblige. Rai said. Earlier, you said that we were the strongest in each of our groups in terms of physical strength, right? Suigetsu asked. Yeah, I did. So? Rai asked, not understanding the need for such a question. Well then, if that's the case, then let's play a little game I like to call Beatdown. Suigetsu said with a grin. And how do we play this game? Rai asked, now interested. Simple. We fight against each other pound for pound, no jutsus, just using either your best weapon or your fists. The first one to die or get knocked out loses the game. Suigetsu explained. So basically, it's whoever can take the bigger beating, huh? You missed shinobis are really crazy sometimes, but this game sounds like fun, so let's play it. Rai said. The two then dashed toward with bloodthirsty looks on their faces as they collided and started to beat wildly on each other. If we keep this up, then I'll lose for sure thanks to those sword slashes I keep taking. Rai thought as the game continued. He then sees Suigetsu's attack coming and catches with his left hand. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Suigetsu asked angrily. Sorry kid, it was fun, but if there's one thing I hate to do is lose. Thunder Shock. Rai said, and then generate a large amount of electricity around his right arm and punched the ground with it, and a large wave of lightning erupts from the ground, engulfing Suigetsu, causing the boy to yell out in pain from the shock. When the attack stopped, Suigetsu was fried up and fell to the ground. This should have ended this fight. Rai said as he breathed heavily and then turned around and started to walk away. Yarrow, Suigetsu said as he started to get back up, stopping Rai dead in his tracks. He's still alive after taking that attack. Rai thought. You and I may be very strong and bloodthirsty, but if there's one thing you and I have in contrast is that I have honor while you don't. Suigetsu said. Honor? Don't speak such bullshit. In the battlefield, there's no place for honor, only power. Rai replied and then threw a right straight only for Suigetsu to catch it, surprising Rai, who tries to free himself from Suigetsu's grip only for the latter to break his arm, causing him to yell in pain. Let's see if your body can take this. Daisuitai, Daiatsuha, Great Water Body, Great Pressure Wave. Suigetsu yelled and then swung his sword and unleashed a powerful gale that sends Rai flying into one of the tallest buildings in Konoha, which effectively knocks him out. Who's the strongest now, motherfucker? Suigetsu says with a grin, but then falls to the ground unconscious. Ryu vs Shinji finale, Kage Hushin, Kage Shunsatsu. Ryu yelled out. Hiramiki, Flash. Shinji yelled out. Ryu disappeared into his own shadow and quickly reappeared in Shinji's sword with a thrusting motion, but Shinji was ready and countered with his own horizontal slash, causing a collision. He was able to counter my Kage Shunsatsu? Ryu thought. You look surprised, as if you did not expect me to counter that technique of yours. It's not hard when you think about it really, because all you are doing is moving at high speed from your shadow to my shadow. The only flaw in your technique is that when you reappear, there's a small delay which is more than enough for me to react to your attack. Shinji explained. He's right. Because of my high-speed movement, I need to have time to regain control of my normal movement before attacking the victim. Ryu thought. So what? Ryu smirked and then did his attack, but this time from behind Shinji, but Shinji was ready and blocked it with his sword in one hand and then used his other hand to grab Ryu and toss him a few feet. As Ryu was flying, he tossed his kodachi toward Shinji. Kage his Hun, Himasiga, flying silent Fong, Ryu said, and then disappeared in midair and then reappeared from Shinji's shadow and grabbed his kodachi and started to stab multiple times at Shinji, who is able to block the attack. His attacking speed is incredible. Shinji thought as he struggled to block them all. Ryu then disappeared again. The same trick won't work on me. Shinji yelled and jumped up in the air. If I'm in the air, then I can't create a shadow and he can't attack me. Shinji thought. Kage Hushin, Kage Hijiri, shadow secret slash. Ryu yells out and then slashed Shinji from behind, knocking him up in the air before falling to the ground. How was he able to slash me? Shinji thought in confusion. You probably told yourself that if I'm in the air, he can't hurt me because I'm not creating a shadow, right? How naive. Did you actually think you had me figured out, huh? My Kage his Hun allows me to move at high speeds through any shadow I wish. Basically, I have total dominion over the shadows. If you didn't notice by now, the sun is starting to set, thus giving me even more shadows to walk through. Ryu explained. Damn you, that trick of yours is really annoying. Shinji said as he got back up. I don't see why you're getting back up, it's useless. There's no way you can defeat me, especially since I can essentially use this whole village to my advantage. Ryu smirked. You're forgetting that I have a Kekai Genkai and that summoning swords isn't its only ability. Watch closely as I show you more of its power. Kami no Ken Kekai Genkai, Genii no Ken, God of Blades Bloodline Limit, Vision of the Blades, Shinji said and then closed his eyes, and his chakra emits from his body and forms 8 blades that fly into the air, each with an eye in the center. Shinji then opens his eyes to reveal a kanji on each pupil. Koi. Shinji said. As you wish. Ha. Ryu grinned, and then disappeared again and tried to slash Shinji many times from multiple shadows but fails, as each time he does, Shinji is able to react easily. Kage his Hun, Kage Mujinsatsu, Shadow Flying Flash, Shadow Infinity Death. Ryu yelled out and then flashes around Shinji multiple times, slashing him at a faster speed than before, but Shinji was able to block each slash. He's actually blocking my technique? But how was he able to keep up with my attacks? Ryu thought. My turn. Shodanjiri, Rising Heaven Slash. Shinji says and then twists his sword and rises off the ground, with his sword slashing vertically, but Ryu was able to move away in time to avoid the blow. Going in the air was a big mistake. Sorajiri, Sky Slash. Ryu said and then flew straight at Shinji at high speeds and swung his kodachi. And you think that just because I'm in the air, I can't counter? Don't be so naive. Gyaku Getsujiri, Reverse Moon Slash. Shinji said and then twists his body and swings his sword, colliding with Ryu's attack. Such a strong attack. Ryu thought. Shinji's attack ended up being the stronger one and knocked Ryu into a building across. What's going on out there? One of the many jounins of Konoha asked as he and others heard the noise. I don't know, but I don't want to. Another replied. We should get out of here now. Ever since those two group of swordsmen started to fight, they've been tearing apart the village with their demonic strength. A third one said. I just hope that one of them is on our side. The Jounin who started the conversation said back to the fight. Ryu gets out of the building, his clothes dirty and marks on his body. He looked up at Shinji and glared at him before reappearing on the rooftop. Ever since he started to use that jutsu from his Kekai Genkai, he has been able to keep up with me, which means those blades can somehow see my movements by forming a 360-degree circle to capture any movement from any side and transfer the images they capture into his eyes, hence the kanji on each pupil. While it is a very annoying technique, it's not an invincible one. I'll just have to change my approach, that's all. I can still win this fight. Ryu thought as he analyzed his predicament. I have to admit something, Ryu-san. Shinji started to say. What is it? Ryu asked. Out of all the opponents I have faced, you're by far the strongest. Your offensive firepower and speed are the highest I ever faced, even higher than Haku-chan, who is the fastest in the Mist Village, and for that, I can no longer fight you with this sword. Shinji said, and then his sword fades away. You're going to summon another sword? Ryu asked. Yes, and that sword is the highest in terms of offensive firepower and speed. Heiken Kuchios, Kumoyutatu, Fierce Dragon Sword. Shinji said, and then a katana with a black dragon engraved on it and a red hilt appears in his right hand. Here I come. Iai Ryu Sat 2, Drawing Dragon Rush. Shinji yelled out as he put his sword into a sheath and then dashed toward Ryu and then started to unleash multiple drawing slashes at Ryu, who is forced into the defensive. Kage his Hun, Gaihen Sochi, Shadow Flying Flash, Deception Step. Ryu said and then disappeared into his shadow again. He then reappears flying from the left of Shinji. It's useless. Ryoha, Dragon Wave. Shinji yelled out and swung his sword upward vertically and unleashed a dragon-headed energy wave from his sword toward Ryu. But to Shinji's surprise, the wave goes through Ryu. An afterimage? Shinji exclaimed. The Gaihen Sochi basically allows me to create an afterimage, but what's so different about any other afterimage is that I can actually make it do other things to confuse others while I move in for the kill. It's almost like creating a clone but less obvious and more effective. Ryu explained as he appeared behind Shinji and swung his sword, and slashed through Shinji only to reveal itself as a log. Kawarini? Ryu exclaimed. Ryoha. Shinji yelled out and then unleashed his dragon wave attack once more and this time struck Ryu full force, causing an explosion. When the smoke fades, Ryu was covered in blood and his clothes tattered. Kuso. Ryu cursed as he tried to get back up from his injuries. It's best for you to stay down. If you keep going, you will die. Besides, all of your friends have been defeated. Shinji warned. Sorry, but I have my pride as a swordsman and for that, I cannot back down. Besides, what kind of nakama would I be if I give up in the face of death? Ryu smirked. Stop it with the foolishness. Why keep fighting if all you're doing is throwing away your life? Shinji yelled. I think you got it wrong, Shinji-san. The reason why I'm still fighting is because I know that I'm not going to die, you are. Ryu said. Nani? Shinji growled. It's been fun, Shinji, but I'm going to end it with this skill. Ryu said and his eyes turned white. Kagemujin Satsu. Ryu said, and then disappeared into his own shadow and reappeared behind Shinji in a mere instant, and then cuts appeared on Shinji's arms, legs, and chest. What the hell just happened? It was the same technique he used before, but this time, I couldn't even notice when he did it. It all happened too fast. Shinji thought as he was able to still stand up. You must be wondering what happened, huh? This Kage his Hun is my fastest. I call it Tasa Shinkan Bachi, instant silence retribution. Basically, it allows me to at extreme speeds, as fast as someone who is using the gates but without the restraints, thus allowing me to fight at high speed as long as I want and the victim can never see it coming until it's too late like you just did. The only drawback to this technique is that it cuts my accuracy in half, so it takes longer for the victim to die, hence the retribution in the name of the technique. My clan's Kekai Genkai, Musei Hiramiki, Silent Flash, allows us to move at speeds that would unbearable to some and do it all the time. Ryu explained. But I thought your Kage Hizhun was your Kekai Genkai? Shinji asked as he was breathing heavily. The Kage Hizhun is a technique we invented to further improve our Kekai Genkai. And as you've experienced just now, this combination is the reason why we were once known as the masters of instant killing, because our opponents would never what would happen to them until their heads fell over instantly. Your blades are now useless against me and there's no way you can keep up, so we're back to square one, and this time, I will make sure it stays that way. Ryu said and then started up his attack. Shinji then had his blades surround him to shield him, but he was still get slashed by Ryu. Just give up and die. No one has ever defeated this attack and I doubt you would be the first. Ryu laughed. Just give up and die, huh? Sorry, but I can't do that yet. Just like you said before, how can I back down in the face of death after all my nakama went through? All of their efforts, how can I throw it all away? Shinji said. You should take your own advice, Shinji. The only thing your foolishness will lead to is death. Tell you what, I will not only kill you but the rest of them, so that way you can all go to hell together. Ryu replied. You're wrong. The only place we're going is back home to the Mist Village after I defeat you. Shinji said. He then started to inhale and exhale his breath, and as he did, chakra started to emit itself and took the shape of a dragon. What the? A dragon? And that chakra, it's huge. I see, so he's going to finish it with this last blow, huh? Well then, so am I. Ryu thought. This ends here. Kage Hizhun Ugi, Ryu started to say. Kumoyututu Ugi, Shinji started to say as well. Shuntsudarajiri, instant twin tiger slash. Ryu yelled as his chakra turned into the form of a tiger, Heidenshoryoha, flying heaven rising dragon wave. Shinji yelled and then both attacks collided, creating an explosion. When the smoke clears, Ryu is seen floating in the air with cut marks on his chest and arms. Damn, you got me. Ryu said as he coughed out blood before hitting the ground. You got me too, Yaro. Shinji grinned, and then two red slash marks appear on his chest to form an X and caused blood to ooze from them. Gomen, Mina. Shinji said, and then succumbed to his injuries and was about to fall to the ground when he was caught by someone. He looked up and his eyes then widened. You, Shinji said. Looks like you guys got into one hell of a fight. Zabuza said. Geez, why didn't you come by sooner? Shinji said as he drifted off to unconsciousness. It looks like I'll have to step up my training or else these kids will surpass me. Zabuza said as he looked over the battlefield between both groups. Naruto vs Gaara, Tenkazadu, Kaze shot. Naruto yells out and is about to unleash his attack when Gaara swipes his tail at Naruto, knocking him back through several trees. Is that it, Namikaze Naruto? Is that the extent of your existence? Gaara asked, howling. Actually it isn't, and by the way, that was a clone you struck. Naruto said behind Gaara, and before Gaara could respond, Naruto smacks him with his wind Rasengan, knocking him way back. Did I get him? Naruto asks, exhausted. I am very impressed with you, Namikaze Naruto. You have become the very first person to wound me to such an extent. Gaara said as he got back up, revealing his grazed stomach. It only did that? Damn it, I was expecting more. Naruto thought. But unlike my brother, I can adapt to my opponents like I will right now. Hijitsu, Hanyu Shikaku, secret technique, half-breed Shikaku, Gaara said, and then the sand wraps around him like a cocoon. When it breaks away, it reveals a Gaara that now has the same eyes as Shikaku, darker skin, wilder and redder hair, fangs, blue tattoos, and a sand raccoon tail wrapped around his waist. What the hell? Naruto yelled in surprise. Ha, 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 ha. This is one of my most prized techniques. We Jinchuriki can absorb the powers of our Bijou, and that is exactly what I do with this technique. Renkuden, compressed air ball. Gaara said and then fired a huge ball of wind from his mouth toward Naruto. Tenkazadu, Kazahiki, heavenly wind body, wind wall. Naruto says and tried to create a wall of wind to defend himself, but Gaara's Renkuden goes right through it and smacks Naruto in the gut, making the boy cough out blood and knocking straight to the ground. Renkugen, compressed air gun. Gaara said and then begins to fire off small compressed air balls at Naruto by flicking them, and each ball creates a hole in Naruto, eventually leaving him with holes in his arms, legs, and chest. Aya-agha. Naruto yelled out in pain while Gaara hummed to the sound of Naruto's yell. Such sweet music to my ears. Ha, 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 ha. Gaara said. What was that? Sasuke asked. That was Naruto. He's in danger. Sakura said and then started to dash faster than the others. Hey, wait up. Sasuke said. I have a bad feeling about all this. Pakken said. Orochimaru versus Sarutobi, is that it? Have I come this far for this? Is this all the strength this old body of mine has? Sarutobi thought as he started to lose his strength as he tried to pull Orochimaru's soul. You could have killed me if you were 10 years younger. Orochimaru chuckled mentally and then made the sword push further into Sarutobi's body. Sarutobi. You have to finish this off. If you do not, then the leaf will fall. Do you understand, Sarutobi? Enma said. I know. I know. Sarutobi said as he pulled a bit more of Orochimaru's soul. Naruto versus Gaara, look at you. You're so pathetic, Namikaze Naruto, and here I thought you would be the one to defeat me, but instead, all you have proven is how weak the existence of others truly are. Gaara said as he walked toward the downed Naruto. He then grins and steps on his leg wound, causing him to yell in pain. Hey, that's Naruto. Hold on buddy, we're coming for ya. Sasuke said as he, Sakura, and Pakken were inching closer. So those are your nakama, huh? Well then, allow me to give them a present of grief and hopelessness. Gaara said and then lifts Naruto up. This is what happens to those whose existence can no longer devour anything. Shiren-e. Gaara said and then plunged his left hand through Naruto's chest, leaving a big hole. Suddenly, the world started to go slowly as Sasuke, Sakura, and Pakken witnessed what just happened and they suddenly stopped in their tracks. Not his can't be, Sasuke said. We were too late. Pakken said. En Naruto-kun, Sakura whispered as tears started to stream down her face as she saw her beloved fall dead to the ground, Naruto. Sakura yelled out as Gaara laughed. However, inside of Naruto, we see Naruto laying in a pool of water near the cage of Kyubi. Yar, Kit. Looks like I'll have to step in after all. Kyubi said, chuckling through his cage. Look at you. You're so pathetic, Namikaze Naruto, and here I thought you would be the one to defeat me, but instead, all you have proven is how weak the existence of others truly are. Gaara said as he walked toward the downed Naruto. He then grins and steps on his leg wound, causing him to yell in pain. Hey, that's Naruto. Hold on buddy, we're coming for ya. Sasuke said as he, Sakura, and Pakken were inching closer. So those are your nakama, huh? Well then, allow me to give them a present of grief and hopelessness. Gaara said and then lifts Naruto up. This is what happens to those whose existence can no longer devour anything. Shiren-e. Gaara said and then plunged his left hand through Naruto's chest, leaving a big hole. Suddenly, the world started to go slowly as Sasuke, Sakura, and Pakken witnessed what just happened and they suddenly stopped in their tracks. Not his can't be, Sasuke said. We were too late. Pakken said. "En Naruto-kun," Sakura whispered as tears started to stream down her face as she saw her beloved fall dead to the ground. "Naruto." Sakura yelled out as Gaara laughed. However, inside of Naruto, we see Naruto laying in a pool of water near the cage of Kyubi. "Yar, Kit. Looks like I'll have to step in after all," Kyubi said, chuckling through his cage. Namikaze Hokage Chapter 18, Endgame. As the battle in Konoha was continuing, a huge wind blew over as if someone had just passed away. That feeling, why does it feel so familiar? It's just like when Obito died. Kakashi thought, and his eyes then widened as he looked over to the direction Sakura, Sasuke, and Pakken left to find Naruto. Dear Caminot again. Kakashi thought. Ha, 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 ha. Gaara laughed. "Naruto-kun, please wake up," Sakura said as she tried to wake the blonde, hoping that this all a bad dream, but Hellas the boy was not responding. "No, Naruto-kun. No, you can't be dead. Naruto." Sakura yelled as this broke the camel's back as the reality finally settled in. Naruto was dead. This is just like before, Sasuke thought as he reminisced his brother who killed his entire clan. "Maybe I was too weak to do anything that time, but this time, I will do something about it." Sasuke roared with his Sharingan flaring. "Ah yes, you're Uchiha Sasuke, one of Naruto's nakama. Are you going to try to avenge his death? Please do so, prove to me that his existence actually mattered." Gaara roared in anticipation. "Shut the hell up. Ukiryu, Ken no Jigaku Ryu Kane. Uchiha style, Fist of the Hell Dragon Flame," Sasuke said, and then dashed toward Gaara and punched him multiple times with his flame-engulfed fists. His last punch struck Gaara in the face and sent him flying through a couple of trees. "I'm not done yet. Katan, Gukyaku no Jutsu." Sasuke roared and unleashed his strongest fireball technique yet in order to destroy the beast that murdered his best friend. However, when the smoke cleared, Gaara was on his feet and unscathed. "Is that all you've got? Is this how much Naruto meant to you? You're even weaker than he was, your existence has no value. Futon, Reputon," Gaara said, and then fired his wind blast, striking Sasuke in the chest, making the boy cough out blood and knocking him back to the ground near the others. "Sasuke!" Pakken exclaimed and then turned his head to Sakura. "Sakura, we have to," Pakken began to say, but then stopped as he saw the girl was in complete shock from what she witnessed. "Sakura! You have to snap out of it or else we're all going to die." Pakken growled, trying to make the girl snap out of her shock, but he couldn't. "Stop it, Pakken, it's no use. She just witnessed the love of her life die right in front of her, so it's obvious she's not going to be in the best mental shape right now, and besides, I still have one more jutsu left," Sasuke said as he got back up and then did 2 seals before holding left hand downward and grabbing his left arm with his right hand. As he did, electricity began to form from his left hand. "That's Kakashi's Raikiri or Chidori," Pakken said in awe as he recognized his master's jutsu. "He's concentrating an amazing amount of chakra in his hand." Gaara thought. "This is for Naruto." "Chidori!" Sasuke yelled and then dashed toward Gaara and plunges his attack into the boy's chest, piercing through, though he did miss the heart. "So tell me, does my existence still has no value, huh?" Sasuke asked with a smirk. "Is that it? This huge amount of chakra gathered for one attack and that's all it does?" "I might say it actually tickled," Gaara said, much to the disbelief of Sasuke. "Then how about another one? Ni Chidori, second 1,000 birds," Sasuke said, and then did a Chidori with his other hand, but Gaara this time grabbed the second one with his right hand. "You are truly weak, Sasuke. Your existence can never overcome mine," Gaara said, and then smirked darkly and then broke Sasuke's right hand, causing the Uchiha to yell in pain. "Sasuke!" Pakken yelled out. Now, disappear. Ni Reputin. Gaara yelled out and fired 2 Reputins at Sasuke, knocking the boy back and made him land near Pakin and Sakura. Sasuke. Pakin yelled as the boy was unconscious, "This is bad. With Sasuke out, we don't stand a chance against that guy." Pakin thought as he saw Gaara approaching them. "What's the matter, girl? Are you that distraught about Namikaze's death, huh? Are you crying because you were too weak to help him? Don't worry, I'll make sure you will be reunited with him in the afterlife." Gaara grinned as he advanced toward Sakura. Why did you kill him? Why did you kill Naruto Kun? Sakura asked angrily with her teared-up face. Why? You ask me why? Ha, 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 ha. Gaara asked as he hollered in laughter before answering the girl's question. I did it because I could. In a battle to the death, one does not need reason to kill their opponents, it is simply the objective of a fight that we must fulfill, it's simple as that. However, if you do need a justifiable reason, you could say it was because my existence simply overwhelmed and devoured his existence. Gaara answered. Existence? What do you mean by existence? Sakura asked. You Konoha ninjas really are naive, aren't you? The only way a shinobi can prove themselves in this world is through their existence, and the only way they can prove their existence is through their own strength. When one loves himself and fights for only himself or herself, they will eventually reach new heights and become stronger. However, one who fights for the sake of others and lives for the sake of others, they become weak and thus their existence becomes weak and easily devoured. Let's take your comrades here for example. Both fought for the sake of others and look where it got them. One is injured and the other is dead, while meanwhile, I am very much alive, as you can see. Gaara finished explaining, and then smirked. If only Namikaze had only listened to me and learned to fight for himself instead of fighting for his foolish dreams and his foolish friends and village, he wouldn't have met such a horrible end. Gaara said. Don't you dare talk like that about Naruto-kun. His dreams were not foolish and he was not foolish. Sakura yelled as she got back up. Oh really? And what are you going to do if I do so, foolish woman? Gaara asked, slightly amused. I'll kill you with my own 2 hands. Sakura glared. I don't know if I should laugh or be offended. Gaara smirked. Where am I? Naruto asked as he regained consciousness. He looked around and found himself laying on water. Can't believe you messed up, kid. A voice said. Kyubi? Naruto asked as he turned around and found himself in front of the cage of the 9-tailed fox. In the flesh, kid. Kyubi said with a grin, flashing his fangs. But how am I here? Shouldn't I be dead? Naruto asked as he remembered the wound Gaara gave him. I healed you, of course. Don't underestimate yours truly, Kit. Kyubi answered. Wait a minute. What about Gaara? Naruto asked as he remembered the red-haired. Suddenly, a mirror was formed that reflected the outside world, and in there it showed Sakura being beaten down by Gaara while Sasuke was unconscious. Sakura-chan. Sasuke. Kyubi, you have to let me go back or else they'll die. Naruto asked the Kyubi frantically. Sorry kid, but I can't let you go back. Kyubi said. Nani? Why the hell not, Kyubi? If I don't come back then they'll be killed. Naruto roared at the fox demon. Damn it kid, I didn't say you can't go back, just not now. Kyubi said, sighing. What do you mean by not now? Naruto asked, a little bit more composed. That Gaara kid, I didn't actually expect him to force Shikaku into signing that contract. That complicates things a lot more. Kyubi said. What contract? Naruto asked. The half-tailed contract. It's a contract that bridges between receiving the chakra of the Bijou and become the Bijou. You won't be as strong as if you were to use one of my tails, but you'll be stronger than if you were using just my chakra. Kyubi said. Really? Naruto repeated. Yeah, so it will make you stronger than you were before. Kyuubi added. So basically if I get that contract, then I'll be as strong or stronger than Gaara himself. That's a great technique, how do I learn it? Naruto asked enthusiastically. It's simple. All you have to do is sign the contract and then perform the same seals that Gaara Kid did. Kyuubi explained. Okay, then let's do this. Naruto nodded with a fierce look on his face. Hold on, you also will need to sign another contract. Kyuubi said. What other contract? Naruto asked. Chakra scaples. Sakura said and then performed the jutsu. She then rushed toward Gaara and tried to cut him with that technique, but Gaara kept on dodging her blows. He then counters with a hard punch to the gut, knocking the wind out of her. He then proceeds to grab her by the throat and lift her up. Just as I thought, you're useless. Though I must admire you for trying to fight against the inevitable, and thus I will reward you by sending you to the afterlife with your nakama. Gaara grinned as he prepared for the final blow. Gomen Naruto-kun. Sakura thought as she closed her eyes for her imminent death. Futon, Kaze ha Ashi no Jutsu. Wind element, wind wave pressure. A voice yelled, and then Gaara was suddenly smacked into numerous trees by a powerful wind blast to the face. Sakura was about to fall to the ground when she was suddenly caught by two arms. She looked up and then gasped. "En Naruto-kun?" Sakura said as she saw that it was Naruto who grabbed her. Naruto looked pretty much the same except for the fact that he now had red fox-like eyes, fangs, claws, bigger whisker marks, and red streaks on his blonde hair. "Sorry about what happened, Sakura-chan. If I had healed sooner then maybe you wouldn't have gotten so hurt bad," Naruto said with a warm smile causing the girl to blush. "It's alright, Naruto-kun. But how did you heal?" "I saw where Gaara struck you, it was near your heart," Sakura asked. Well, I learned this healing kinjutsu that allows me to heal from within, but it takes time to complete, however," Naruto said, obviously trying to cover up the fact that he was healed because of Kyuubi. "Oh, okay, Naruto-kun. All that matters is that you're still alive," Sakura said with a smile. Meanwhile, Gaara was getting back up as he had blood near his lips and was bruised up. He saw Sakura and Naruto holding each other, and this led to images of a tan-skinned blue-eyed blonde smiling and her and a younger Gaara play in the sands together. The images then broke into pieces and Gaara began to clutch his head in pain and growl in pain. "What's happening to him?" Sakura asked. "I have no idea," Naruto replied. "The way you two are holding each other and that feeling you have for each other, I loathe that feeling. I detest it with every fiber of my being," Gaara growled angrily. "Why do you hate that feeling, Gaara? Is it because you just don't believe in it, or is it the key to a tragedy that happened in your life?" Naruto asked, surprising everyone. "What are you babbling about, Namikaze?" Gaara asked. "For once I agree with that freak, what are you trying to do, kid?" Pakken asked. "Sakura-chan, from the books you've read when we went with the library together, isn't a split personality some sort of defensive mechanism caused by an event in that person's life?" Naruto asked his comrade. "Yes, that's right." Sakura nodded. "What are you trying to say, Namikaze?" Gaara asked. "What I am trying to say is only a hypothesis, but from what I have gathered, something tragic happened that caused you to develop a split personality that you call little brother, correct? So tell me about it, what caused the split to occur?" Naruto asked. Is Naruto trying to gain a psychological edge on Gaara? But why? Sakura thought. Why? Why do you want to know? Gaara asked. I have my own reasons for all of this. Now, tell me. Naruto answered. Very well. Consider this as a gift for providing with much amusement, Namikaze Naruto. Gaara said as he closed his eyes to reminisce. Flashback, for all my life, I was hated, detested and feared because of what I was a Jinchuriki. Even children of my age were afraid of me because I was known as the monster of Sunakagure. Hey, pass it. A couple of kids said as they were playing soccer in a part of Sunakagure. In that same part, Gaara was on a swing with his teddy bear looking off sadly as he was all alone again. Suddenly, the ball got stuck into a wall nearby, too high for the kids to reach. Oh crap! One of the kids said as they all raced to the wall where the ball landed. What do we do? We haven't mastered any wall climbing techniques. Another kid said worried. Then out of nowhere, the ball was lifted off the wall by sand and flew off. The kids looked for where the ball was heading and then gasped as the ball had landed in the hands of Gaara. Gaara tried to hand the ball but the kids started to back off in fear. Yuri Sabaku no Gaara, one of the kids said trembling in fear. Run for it. A brown-haired girl yelled out and they all ran away from the Jinchuriki. Matt! Don't leave me alone. Gaara said and suddenly his sand unconsciously headed for the kids. Help me. One of the kids said as he was grabbed by the sand. I don't want to be alone anymore. Gaara thought. No. The kid yelled as the sand was coming to finish him off when suddenly a blur appeared in front of him, taking the brunt of the attack. Please Gaara-sama. You have to calm yourself down. A blonde-haired man with blue eyes said with blood on his arms and forehead. This caused Gaara to stop and look down on the floor in shame. Later, Gaara is at home facing a picture of a female version of the man that stopped his assault earlier. Gaara then took the knife he was holding and tried to cut his left wrist but to no avail as the sand immediately stopped the knife. Just like always, the sand stopped the attack. Gaara said sadly. Gaara-sama. The blonde-haired man from earlier said. He now wore bandages on his arms and forehead. Yoshimaru. Gaara said. As a member of your medical team at Kazekage-sama's command, my duty is to protect you from any harm, so please do not try to do such a thing. Yoshimaru said. Although it wouldn't have mattered since the sand protects you anyway. Yoshimaru added with a sheepish smile. Gomen Yoshimaru. Do the injuries hurt? Gaara asked as he saw the bandages on his caretaker. Oh, this? Well, it hurts but just a little, so it's nothing too serious. Yoshimaru answered as he pointed to the bandages. Yoshimaru, what is pain? I never get injured, so I'm just wondering what it is exactly. Gaara asked, taking Yoshimaru by surprise. How should I put it? Afflictive or dreadful, like when you're cut or beaten up. In short, you're in an unbearable condition in which you are unable to stay in your usual self. I can't explain it very well, but I can say that it is unpleasant. Yoshimaru explained to the best of his abilities. I see. Then that feeling I feel in my heart, as if it was tightening up, is that pain, Yoshimaru? Gaara asked. He grabbed his chest. Yes, Gaara. That is one form of pain, and unlike physical pain which can heal fast thanks to medical aids, the emotional scars are the ones that take the longest to deal with and hurt the most because there are no ointment available for them and the pain never goes away. Yoshimaru explained. There is, however, one thing that can cure such a heartache. However, as inconvenient as it may seem, this cure can only be given to you by someone other than yourself. Yoshimaru went on to say. What is it? Gaara asked. It's love. Yoshimaru said. Love, such a word or emotion, did not exist for a monster like myself. No matter how people acted toward me, no one loved me, not even Yoshimaru. I could see it in their eyes that they all hated me because of the monster inside of me, and that no matter what I did, they would always hate me. This is why I did not believe in this word called love, at least not until she came into my life. To everyone else, she was just a normal girl. But to me, she was the light in my darkness. Gaara was again in the swings by himself when suddenly, someone sat on the swing behind him. I'm sorry. I'll leave now. Gaara said as he expected the person to not want to be next to a monster. Why are you sorry for? You didn't do anything wrong. The person, who was a girl by her voice, said. Gaara finally turned around and his eyes widened as he saw the girl sitting behind him. She had tan skin, long blonde hair, black eyes, and was wearing a violet shirt with black pants and blue shoes. To many others, she may seem pretty, but to Gaara, she was breathtaking. My name is Rose and you must be Sabaka no Gaara, correct? Rose asked. Yes, I am. Gaara replied quietly. Well then, Sabaka no Gaara, it's finally nice to meet ya, though I would expect someone a lot more scarier than you. Rose said with a grin. Huh? You wanted to meet me? Gaara asked, confused at how the girl was acting. Of course I did. Everyone is always talking about how terrifying and weird you are, and so I wanted to see it for myself. Though I was expecting to meet you sooner, but with all the homework and exams, I've just been too busy to see you until now. But like I said, I expected something much more terrifying than someone as cute as you. Rose said, finishing her explanation with another grin. Her cute comment caused Gaara to blush. Two don't know what to say. Gaara said, completely at lost by this girl who seemed to act unafraid of him. Who is this girl? Why is she not afraid of me? And what is this feeling that I am experienced in my heart? Gaara thought as he clutched his chest. Hey Gaara, do you want to hang out here from now on? We can make it our secret place just for the two of us, since my parents wouldn't want to see me hanging out with the so-called monster of the village. Rose suggested with a smile. Sure, Rose. Gaara nodded with a blush once again. For the first time in my life I felt happiness in my heart. For once, I had a friend that I could talk and joke with. We hung out at this place every day and make sure we don't get caught. We would laugh, play games, do what ordinary kids would do, and in time, as I hung out with her, that feeling in my chest continued to intensify, and that is when I realized that I had fallen in love with Rose. But hellas, all good things must always come to an end, and also, reality always sets in. Gaara and Rose were in their hideout making sand castles. You really are a great guy, Gaara, not the monster everyone says you are. I'm really enjoying spending time with you. Rose said, smiling. To enjoy spending time with you as well, and when you told me that I was cute, I also think you're cut, Rose-chan, and to really like you, Rose-chan. Gaara said, blushing. I really like you too, Gaara-kun. Rose said, also blushing. I can't believe what I am seeing with my own two eyes. A man with blonde hair and light skin wearing an unbuttoned blue shirt with a white shirt underneath and brown pants. Dad! Rose yelped in surprise. I have heard the rumors that my own daughter was hanging out with that monster, but I never imagined them to be true. Why, Rose, why would you do this to me, huh? The man growled angrily. But Dad, Gaara is not a monster. He's really a great guy and my friend. Rose snapped back. Are you really that naive to think that a monster can ever be your friend? A monster like him deserves no one. Now you're coming with me, Rose. Rose's father said, and then grabbed her by the arm before turning his eyes to Gaara. And don't you ever go near my daughter again, monster. He said before taking Rose and leaving. Rose! Gaara yelled. Later, Gaara is able to track down the address that Rose gave him and knocked on the door. The door opened and Rose was there. Oh, it's you. Rose said. I'm sorry for what happened earlier, Rose-chan. I was wondering if we can hang out some more. I found this great place for us not to get caught, and Gaara began to say, but then the door was slammed shut on him. Leave me alone, you monster. I don't ever want to hang out with you or see your face again. Rose said. But Rose-chan. I thought you liked me, that I wasn't a monster. Gaara said as he began to clutch his heart. I never liked you and I never will. Now leave me alone, you monster. Rose yelled. Wait, Rose, please open the door. Please, Rose, I love you. Please let me talk to you. Gaara said as he banged his hands against the door with tears flowing down his face. Shut up and leave me alone. I hate you, I hate you Gaara and I will never love you. No one will. Now leave before I call Jounins on you. Rose yelled. Gaara then yelled as he fell on his knees and grabbed his chest once more. He then started to walk away crying. Unbeknownst to him, Rose was also crying on the other side of the door. I'm sorry Gaara. Please forgive me Gaara-kun. Rose whispered. This feeling. Why is my heart aching so much? Gaara asked as he was on the rooftop of a building. Yashimaru said that love could heal anything but he was wrong. It can't heal everything and in fact, it's because of love that I am hurting like this. I don't ever want to see or experience love again. Gaara said. But in order for me to not experience it anymore, I cannot be in this world anymore. I see, I'll create another me, one that can protect me from such feelings and destroy it for me. Yes, I'll call him little brother. Ha, 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 ha. Gaara said and then started to laugh. Suddenly, his sand blocked several kunais that were heading for him. He turned around and saw a Jounin with flying kunais and he then smiled evilly. Oh boy, looks like I get to play. Gaara said and then before the Jounin could do anything, Gaara grabbed him with his sand and then crushed the man who fell to the floor. Gaara walked up to the man and lifted the carpet off and saw that it was none other than Yashimaru. So it's you though I'm not surprised, you always hated us after all. Gaara grinned. Us? What do you mean us? Yashimaru asked surprised. Oh I'm sorry, where are my manners? My name is Otuto Gaara, nice to meet you. Otuto Gaara smiled. Little brother? What's going on? Yashimaru asked dumbfounded. You see, Gaara doesn't want to be a part of this world anymore so he created me to handle all of you cretins. You guys have done so much harm to Gaara so it's fitting that he creates me to put the fear of God into each and every one of you and to be honest, I don't mind it at all. Now, let's play Yashimaru. Otuto Gaara said with a crazed look in his eyes, and throughout the night, the only thing that could be heard was Yashimaru's screams of pain. After this, we decided to engrave the word love into our forehead as a significance of our existence. We decided to that we would only love ourselves and fight for ourselves. End flashback. Are you satisfied now, Namikaze? Gaara asked. I am and now I understand why you became who you are. Sakura, I want you to heal Sasuke and then get back as far as you can, okay? Naruto asked. Sure. Sakura said and then got off Naruto's arms and walked up to her fallen teammate in order to heal him. He's the same as me. Both of us were hated by everyone for something that was beyond our control and we both loathed everyone. However, I was able to find people that loved me and cared for me like Sakura-chan, Sasuke, Irakanezen, Kakashi, even the Hokage. The love that these people gave me has allowed me to overcome the loneliness and darkness that I was in, but he didn't get the same things and thus was consumed by his hatred and darkness. If it wasn't for my friends, I would have probably ended up like him. Nevertheless, I now know what to do. Naruto thought as he looked at Gaara. Gaara. I can understand your pain better than you think, but if you think that shutting yourself from everyone is the answer then you're wrong and I'll prove it to you by saving you from the darkness that you are in. Naruto said. Save me? I don't need any saving Namikaze. All I need is for you to die. Gaara laughed. Taiju Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Mass Shadow Clone Technique. Naruto yelled and then hundreds of clones appeared. What the hell is this? Gaara growled as he saw the shadow clones. No way, he was able to create this many shadow clones? Pakken asked in shock. Okay guys, let's do this. Jump. Naruto said and they all jumped. Ninpocho Naruto. Naruto Ninja Chronicles, Shurho Happu Shuriken no Maki, the No Escape Shuriken chapter. Naruto yelled out and then he and his clones threw shurikens from all sides which forced Gaara to put up his sand to block it. NMIKZE. The clone said and then knocked Gaara into the air with rising kicks. Naruto Risen Rendan, the Naruto 2000 combo, the Narutos all said and then all punched Gaara multiple times. No Maki. Chapter. Naruto said and then finished it off with two powerful punches, knocking Gaara to the ground from 50 feet in the air, causing a crater. Gaara gets back up slow. Now, we'll do a 4000 version with our legs this time. Naruto said as they all headed toward Gaara. I will not be defeated by someone like you. Gaara roared and suddenly all of the clones were destroyed and Naruto was knocked back into a tree as the smoke cleared and Gaara had now turned into the Shikaku. Is that the Shikaku that Kyuubi talked about? Naruto asked as he got back up but then gasped as he found himself trapped in a sand coffin. This time, I'll make sure you stay dead. Gaara said. I have to protect everyone. Naruto said and he bit one of his fingers. Sabaku Kyu. Gaara yelled out. Yukai Kuchios no Jutsu, Demon Summoning Technique. Naruto yelled out and then a large cloud of smoke occurred and when the smoke cleared, Naruto was standing on top of none other than Kyuubi. Nani? He summoned that? Pakken said. Isn't that the nine-tailed fox? But I thought it was killed by the Yondaime. Sakura thought while healing Sasuke. Holy crap. Is that Naruto? Sasuke asked as he regained consciousness. Oh Sasuke, you're awake. Sakura said. Sakura, am I on drugs? Sasuke asked completely stunned by what he was seeing. Of course not Baka. Sakura snapped back. Oh okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing things. Sasuke said. So it looks like that other contract worked after all. Naruto said. Flashback, what other contract? Naruto asked. Remember that technique that Hermit taught you? The summoning technique? Kyuubi asked. Of course I do, but what does it have to do with the contract? Naruto asked. In order to summon anything you need a contract of it. Basically, I'm going to give you a contract in which you can summon me or any other fox demon you wish. However, if you were to summon me, my psyche would simply be placed in a replica of my body with only half the strength as my original body. Kyuubi informed the young Namikaze. Okay then, I'll sign it. Naruto said. End flashback, you continue to amuse me Namikaze Naruto. Gaara said, and then suddenly the real Gaara rose up from on top of the Shikaku's head. This isn't looking good, Kit. Kyuubi said. Thank you for entertaining me Naruto, I'll now show you the true powers of the Shikaku. Gaara said as he made a seal. Shikaku has a nasty habit of making its container become insomniac simply because when they sleep, he eats away at their personality and emerges. While the medium is awake, Shikaku's powers are suppressed, but if he were to fall asleep, then Shikaku's true power would emerge. Kyuubi said. Right, and because you're not at full strength, it's going to be harder to deal with him. Naruto said. Spell of fake sleep. Gaara said and then fell asleep. Yahoo, I'm finally out and it looks like I get to kill someone, and who else other than Kyuubi, the fox bastard. Shikaku hollered. Looks like you're finally out, you piece of shit raccoon. Kyuubi said. Futon, Repuden ha. Wind release, compressed air ball wave. Shikaku yells out and unleashed a powerful wave, but fortunately, Kyuubi and Naruto were able to jump out of the way. Kitsune Cane, Fox Flame. Kyuubi yells out and then shot a fireball from its mouth, but Shikaku was able to jump back to avoid it. We gotta get out of here now or else we'll be dead. Sasuke said, and he and the others went further back to avoid the fight. San Repuden, Triple Compressed Air Ball. Shikaku yelled out and fired 3 consecutive air balls at Kyuubi. Tail Whip. Kyuubi said and then deflected all 3 with his tails. Damn you Kyuubi. Shikaku growled. Kyuubi, we have to end this now before we destroy any more of this place. Naruto said. Okay. Just hold on tight, Kit. Kyubi said, and then he started to run toward Shikaku while doding air balls. Kyubi then lunges and bites on Shikaku and holds him up with his claws. Okay, Kit. Snap that kid wide awake. Kyubi said. No problem. Naruto said, and then jumps toward Gaara. Wake up now. Naruto said, and then punched Gaara hard in the face with a right hook. Good, the container was not sleeping for too long, so the spell should wear off, and that's a good thing because I barely have enough strength left. Kyubi said. No. And I was finally out. Shikaku whined as he then sealed back. Damn you, Naruto. I'll kill you. Gaara said as he then commanded the sand to grab Naruto and then was going to use the sand to kill Naruto when Kyubi's tail stopped the attack. Don't think I'm through just yet. Gaara growled. I am not going to lose. Naruto said as his chakra then flared in a orange-like color. He then lunged toward but was grabbed the sand. Die. Gaara said. I told you that I will not lose, you bastard. Naruto said and then headbutts Gaara. The headbutt caused blood to trickle on both their foreheads and also caused the Shikaku to break down into sand. A headbutt, huh? That's a shitty way to end a fight, but heck, it did the trick. Anyway, time for me to head back. Kyubi said and then poofed away. Meanwhile, the two each landed on top of a tree and stared at each other, like reflections in a mirror. I feel so tired and empty, you must feel the same, right? We are the same, you and I, so let's make this the end of this fight. Naruto said, breathing heavily. Meanwhile at the stadium, the fighting had died out as the Jounins were able to fend off the enemy ninjas. It's not only the Sand Village, I'm surprised at how many of the Sound invaded as well. Guy said. Well, that's only to be expected, you know. This is war when you get right down to it. Kakashi said. On the rooftop, the Umbu leader was still up there, witnessing the fight. It's been so long. It's not possible for a shinobi fight to last into the greater part of an hour. What on earth is going on down there? The Umbu leader thought. Looks like I do not have enough strength left to pull all of your soul out. Sarutobi said. Could you please just die already, Sarutobi-sensei? Orochimaru asked. But your ambitions will end here. Sarutobi said. My ambitions will end? That is a lot to say under these type of circumstances. Orochimaru said and tried to move his arms but was unable to do so. It's grabbed my arms, I can't use any jutsu. Orochimaru thought. Good. It's begun the separation process. Sarutobi thought, and he then moaned in pain. My ambitions will not end here and you will die here. Orochimaru roared. Your ambitions will no longer harm this village. Sarutobi said. It seems you've really grown old. You're the Sandaime Hokage, do you have the strength to rescue your own village? Look around you, I've ordered my subordinates, the hidden sand and sound ninjas, to infiltrate the village. Your shinobis will be annihilated and so will the women and children as well. The leaf will crumble. Ha, 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 ha. Orochimaru said before laughing. You should know better than to take the shinobis of this village lightly, Orochimaru. Sarutobi replied. The enemy will pay for what they've done. A dark purple-haired woman in a gray Umbu uniform said in front of the grave of Geku Hayate. It's time to go. Another Umbu told her. Yes. Let's go. She said as she put her mask on, and then they all vanished. Numerous ninjas were seen fighting back against the invaders, including Hyuga Hayashi, who used his Kaiten to knock back several enemies at once. Baika no Jutsu, multi-size technique. Akimichi Choza, Chuji's father, yelled and grew into a giant and started to fend off the enemy. What's going on? Is this the Kage main no Jutsu? One of the enemies asked as he was frozen by Shikaku, Shikamaru's father. Yes it is, and you'll love this one. Kage Shirbari no Jutsu, shadow neck bind technique, Shikaku said, and then performs a seal and a shadow of a hand travels up to the ninja's neck and then breaks it. Shinranshin no Jutsu, mind disruption technique. Inoshi, Ino's father, said, and then one of the enemy ninjas lunged at his comrade and end up killing each other. Just like old time, huh? Inoshi said as his comrades appeared. The poison in my body, it's gone. Shino thought. Don't move, Shino. I'm using my bugs to draw out the poison. Shino's dad, Shibi, said. Father, Shino whispered. Let's go, Kuramaru. Kiba's mother said as she and her daughter were about to find enemy ninjas on a rooftop. Ow! The wolf replied. The leaf shinobi are all protecting this village. They fight with their life on the line. True strength is not in the mastery of ninjutsu, but rather, true strength comes from when a person fights to protect their most precious person. Unfortunately, I was never able to teach you that. Sarutobi said. Boring speech. Orochimaru replied. This is good. I don't feel like letting like you now. For someone who is obsessed with jutsus, this an appropriate punishment. To steal all of your techniques, Sarutobi said. Nani? Orochimaru said. Ah! Sarutobi yelled and the death god pulled out Orochimaru's arms from his body. Stop it! Orochimaru yelled, but it was too late as the death god's sword came down swinging and chopped off his soul arms. Sealed! Sarutobi said and sealed the arms into his body, completing the technique. My arms, they won't move. Orochimaru said as he noticed his arms darkening. Those arms of yours are now useless because they have become sealed thanks to this technique. You no longer have any jutsu and your attempt to destroy the leaf has been stopped. Sarutobi said. Damn you, old man. Give me back my arms. Orochimaru yelled in rage. It's no use, you fool, they've both been destroyed. My foolish apprentice, we will meet again in the other world. Sarutobi said, your light is blown out, old man. All this. All of my jutsu. Orochimaru yelled. The place the leaves dance, the fire burns, the fire of a new shadow will illuminate this village and the world. Sarutobi thought as he closed his eyes and drifted to death. Back at the forest, Naruto and Gaara prepared for the final strike. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you want early updates, check out Patreon. This is Fox Sage, and I'm signing off.